Today in chapter 133 of Chainsaw Man, Hirofumi Yoshida shows Denji the chaos that breaks out on his behalf, and he gives him a choice to make. It's either you never turn into Chainsaw Man again, or Nayuta dies, which I personally think is a huge oversight. If he really wanted to keep the peace, he should have just had Kendall Jenner offer the protesters a Pepsi. Regardless of his methods, I still think we got a pretty good look at what Yoshida's overall motive is in Chainsaw Man Part 2, as well as a somewhat depressing look into Denji's deteriorating mental state. But before we jump right in, remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content. My end of the year goal is 5,000 subscribers, but we're already pretty close to that, so if everyone watching this video subscribes now, we'll probably crush that in no time. Thank you guys so much for your support. Now let's talk about the two characters with the most romantic tension in Chainsaw Man history. Today's chapter started out pretty much how everyone expected it would, with Yoshida and Denji having a casual breakfast while watching a fist fight break out over Chainsaw Man. And by how everyone expected, I mean how nobody expected. I thought we'd get at least another 2 chapters of Denji interrogation at most, or a week of ass eating at the very least. But Fujimoto threw us a bit of a curveball with a casual conversation between Yoshida and Denji, where the former shows the latter the negative effect his existence as Chainsaw Man is having on society. This really says a lot about society. That said, I feel like the anti-Chainsaw Man side is having a bit of an overreaction here. A primordial devil showed up and caused a worldwide cataclysm, and the only person that stood up to fight her was Chainsaw Man. Technically, it was Denji that caused a lot of the falling devil's wrath by not allowing her to take Asa, but they don't know that. It feels like a bit of a harsh overreaction on their part. But then there's the Chainsaw Man Church for World Peace side, and they seem equally as exasperating to deal with. First of all, they're the side that started swinging first, and second, they're spearheaded by the most insufferable fanboy in media history, Haruka Isayumi. These two groups, who are essentially just herds of sheep fighting, adds another layer of irony to the story. Because Denji isn't even trying to cause any kind of hoopla, they're just doing it themselves. And there's also the point that a lot of this isn't even his fault when there are powers like FAMI and public safety trying to manipulate him in different directions. But this protest has done a lot to reveal the mysterious motivations about a character that we've all been pretty curious about since his enigmatic appearance in Chainsaw Man Part 1, Hirofumi Yoshida. I know it's a back and forth every week on if Hirofumi Yoshida is good or evil, or if he's on the side of the humans or the devils, but I feel like this week there's a pretty good enough case to make that he's on the side of good for humanity. It seems like his interest in stopping the Nostradamus prophecy and his mission to keep Denji's identity from being exposed are two separate duties. Yoshida's mission to keep Chainsaw Man on a tight leash seems to be solely for the purpose of keeping peace and order throughout society, whereas his interrogation of Fami was in order to figure out how he can best protect humankind from an oncoming apocalypse. This may seem obvious to a lot of people watching this video right now, but I had always been trying to draw connections between Denji and the oncoming apocalypse where there just might not be any, at least as far as Yoshida's concerned. Aside from what I believe as his true motivations being revealed, we also got to see another side of Yoshida that we have yet to see in Chainsaw Man until today. Yoshida actually snapped at Denji for his unwillingness to comply with his demands for the good of humanity. Yoshida has spent the past 30 chapters trying to reason with Denji, even going as far as to babysit him, monitoring his every move. Then when he finally feels like he has an ironclad ultimatum that will make him finally understand, Denji is seemingly too stupid to accept it. Yoshida even offers to continue being his friend and hang out with him after school, which in retrospect sounds incredibly sad, but Denji is impossible to reason with. But speaking of Denji, even though this might come off as funny to a lot of people, myself included, this chapter did a lot to shine a light on how terrible Denji's mental state is. In specific, I'm talking about Denji's reaction to being told he can't be Chainsaw Man anymore, and he has to choose between either Nayuta's life or his beloved attention. He clings to both choices so hard that when Yoshida corners him, the only thing he can think to do to escape the situation is to try to plead to the protesters to come and kill him. Finally, when Nayuta shows up, you can see his face look actually happy to see her after the mental anguish he was just put through. Every time we get a moment like this with Denji, I can't help but think about how fucked up his life has been with everything he's gone through. Then to add the ultimatum of having to lose your family again or having to lose your purpose for living is incredibly fucked up. For a guy who's had to struggle to receive even the basic necessities of human rights his entire life, it's no wonder he'd act like a cornered animal when he's told he has to give away one of the only good things he has going for him. Speaking of good things Denji has going for him, I gotta say my heart completely melted when I saw Denji and Nayuta reunite amongst the clash of protesters. In my opinion, this reunion might be one of Denji's most powerful moments in Chainsaw Man history. The bond that these two characters shares feels even deeper than that of a brother and a sister. It feels like that of two characters who have nothing else in this world except for each other. But aside from this cute and wholesome dynamic between Denji and Nayuta, I really quickly wanted to point out a discrepancy I noticed between the English and Japanese versions of chapter 133. In the English version, Nayuta tells Denji to tell Yoshida to F off, but in the Japanese version, she literally tells Denji to say, fuck you. She says, Denji, koitsu ni sa, fuck you, deite. I just think it's hilarious that she literally says fuck you, but Viz doesn't want to include any swear words in the English version of the chapter. We can have over-the-top gore, we can have monster girl orgies, but I draw the line at foul language, you potty mouths. I genuinely think Fujimoto keeps surpassing what I previously thought was his best work, and this chapter is just another testament to that. I think everything about this chapter was brilliant, from the way Fujimoto depicts the chaos in the background of the protests while Yoshida tells Denji he can't be Chainsaw Man anymore, to the facial expressions made by the characters in times of frustration, anguish, and happiness. Sure, we didn't really figure out who the Death Devil is, or who Fake Sawman is, or how the Blood Devil is doing in hell, but the beauty and elegance of this chapter is gonna make it go down as one of my all-time favorite chapters of Chainsaw Man. This and the chapter with the Monster Girl orgy. Alrighty, I'm about to wrap things up here for this week, but before I go, we have one more important motion to discuss. What did the Future Devil predict in last night's live stream, and was he correct? Oh, great and powerful Future Devil, what is going to happen in Chainsaw Man chapter 133? Oh, fuck. Okay. What happens in Chainsaw Man chapter 133? Well, the Future Devil chuckles. Let's just say you don't know the meaning of the word chaos until you get to chapter 133. A hint of a grin crosses the Future Devil's face. This is potentially the first time that the Future Devil will be right about something that happens in a chapter. I think it will probably be very chaotic. Eat those crocs. Okay. Surely we will not count a chapter being chaotic as fucking like croc eating worthy, no? The Future Devil has spoken. So I'm not sure I'm willing to count this prediction as being worthy of boiling up and eating a pair of Crocs, but the fighting amongst the protesters did technically count as a chaotic chapter, so that's 1 point for the Future Devil this week. I guess I owe you guys 40 push-ups or something in my next live stream. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also make sure you check out another video on my channel like this awesome video that just appeared on your screen now. We're on for another chapter of Chainsaw Man next week in just 7 short days as well, so I look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye-bye now.